Hello everyone, welcome to our review of Unravel 2, of course by EA and also made by Coldwood Interactive. I should say it was published by EA and developed by Coldwood Interactive. And let's just dive right into it. The world is beautiful, although it had a little bit of issue I had with it was, depending on the color of your Yarny, it was really easy to lose track of yourself in it. Which I think is one of the reasons why they gave you the ability to change the color of your Yarny depending on the situation, depending on the level. You could change it to look at different ways, so that way it just stands out a bit more. But overall, I think for the small type of game it was, the world so detailed and beautiful, the music was wonderful. It's a world you can get lost in.
I think that where Unravel 2 excelled in its visuals is the different visual textures that were presented. Nothing really felt like it was redone, rehashed, reskinned. Every location felt unique, and I think that they did a great job of making every single level. Metals felt like looked like metals, and there was just an attention to materials in this game that it's wonderful to see from such a small game by comparison to AAA titles. I really loved the attention to the way that wood moved, by comparison to just I don't know. I would say it's like ragdoll physics and physics in general of objects. You could tell their weight based off the material they were made out of, and I think that they did a great job of realizing the visual aspect of the world for sure.
Yes, it was definitely a world where, as you mentioned, with the wood and how it looked, it just had a certain weight and aesthetic to it where it really just transcended through the screen. It was like, oh, this looks super realistic. Like they spent time drawing the rings on this thing, setting, the bark on it, everything. Again, the world looked really, really good. The sounds were really, really good.
It felt like very much like I go back to this Pacific Northwest, like by the bay town, or like
it could be
near the woods town kind of place,
or it could be like a rural Pennsylvania.
Or Maine. Like it captured something. It captured a very specific feeling of a locale, and it's kind of interesting to see the difference between a game like Alan Wake, which had a budget. And granted, that came out a while ago, but Alan Wake was trying to capture the essence of a location. This felt like it captured the essence of a location.
Yes.
It wasn't trying to. It just did a great job of making you feel like you were a part of, I don't know, it felt like a harbor town in like Maine or Pennsylvania or, somewhere by the ocean. Like the lighthouse itself was it had such wonderful character to it that the specifics of the design of levels and locations, it really shined through for me.
Moving on from aesthetics and level design to controls. And, this is a game where the controls are really, really simple. However, you can't change the layout. And I think that specifically what would have helped a lot to make this game more accessible for people with physical handicaps and disabilities is being able to take the right trigger or whatever it would be to lasso something and hook on something and to swing, again, moving it to be able to move it to the left side. Overall, I think the simplicity of the puzzles helped with it when it came to the controls, because it was like, oh, you just tie a knot just by pressing X or pressing a button. For if you're playing on PlayStation 4, you need a square button, X and A are jump, and it's just very simple layout. It's just that when it came to, this is a game that's based on timing, when it came to swinging, it can be kind of a little bit difficult, but not unplayable. It's just one of those things where it's like, I would have liked to have seen the ability to move things a little bit over, just to, don't give me full button RAM would be amazing, but again, this is a very, very small studio, so if I could have had another controller scheme where it flips the triggers or something like that, that would have been awesome.
I feel like the simplicity in the controller scheme is a benefit in this game's case, just because there's not a lot of hyper complex things that you have to execute, and I think that simplicity really does allow this game to function effectively. But I think that, again, and I'll always hold games to the standard. If one indie company can make a full button remapping of their game, I think that others can do the same. So I do feel like it's unfortunate to see that though the control scheme is simple and easy to learn and get accustomed to, full button remapping for persons who, like you said, moving it all to the left-hand side would have been it would have made your gameplay experience a lot better than not having that option.
I think that overall, when it comes to controls, what makes Unravel and Unravel 2 really playable games, especially Unravel 2, where you're playing with two Yarnies, so there's more you have to do puzzle-wise and swinging and stuff like that. There could have been a couple more things. I do want to highlight some of the things that you can do in terms of just like gameplay options and stuff like that. Of course, we mentioned it earlier. You can change your Yarnie's appearance and the color of your Yarnies anytime throughout the game. Doesn't matter what level you're on, you can change it. You can toggle auto grab, gameplay assist, timed reminders, you can turn hints on and off, and you can also adjust the game speed and slow motion. So when you tap the, I believe it was the LB button to use slow motion, you could adjust it to where, like, how slow do you really want the game to go? Mm-hmm. How slow do you want the Yarnies to really move? And you can toggle that on and off. It was a feature. So going back to my swinging thing, maybe if you are somebody who has trouble with swinging because swinging be like on the right trigger, swing and all this other stuff, and you have to hold the rope tight with the left trigger at the same time, you use the slowdown and you can maybe grab things a little bit faster and a little bit easier. So you can do all those things. Like I said, you can't control the controller layout, but overall I thought, like, for a very small indie game, it was simple enough to where I'm like, there were some little hiccups here and there, but it's not like, oh my god, this game is so unplayable. I will say that if you are somebody that has a severe disability, this might be a little bit of a learning curve, especially because some of the puzzles are very, like, you have timing based and stuff like that. So it might be a little bit hard to get things down, but again, you can change the gameplay speed on it, so maybe that would be much of a benefit to you. So with that being said, let's dive into our grades for this. This game is not perfection because there are certain options I wish that they had in here. Again, I know it's a small studio, as I mentioned before, but now the more I think about it in this review, this was published by EA. Mm-hmm. So there's something that tells me that EA maybe could have given them a little bit more help.
Give them a little bit more money just to put that option in.
Yes.
It's really that simple.
But it was very charming. I really love the world design. I like the puzzles, how we said in one of the episodes, how some of the puzzles are frustrating, but like they're a good type of frustrating where you're not angry. It's not like you're playing something like Cuphead where you had to like memorize certain things and stuff like that, and oh my god, there's so much stress. It's, if I do this, if I do that. Now there are some levels where, you have like a fire chasing you and stuff like that, where you have to think a little bit faster on your feet. For the most part, it's very much go at your own pace. Very, something I think that's easy for people to get into. Not super easy, but easy enough. So for me, this is a press start. I
think that it's short and sweet. Ultimately, obviously, I feel like they could have had more controller options, and that'll always be a gripe of mine until I see it in a game. I agree. I think that this is a press start. It's short, it's sweet, it's well executed. I wanted to get a little bit more invested in the story, personally. It felt vague, but overall, the experience of solving puzzles, of the visual world, of the execution of character movements and physics, materials, etc. I think that this game is definitely worth picking up and playing, so I will also give it a press start.
And good news, if you have Xbox Game Pass, I also believe it's on PlayStation Now. You can download the game for free on Game Pass and PS Now. And that's going to do it for our review of Unravel 2. As always, be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon, so that way you get notifications when new videos go up every Wednesday and Sunday. Also, be sure to hit us up on social media, facebook.com/reviewcade. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at Reviewcade. And also, I am streaming again. Yep, I am back on Twitch, twitch.tv/Merc with one arm, but doing a couple charity streams for the AACR. Of course, that's the American Association for Cancer Research that we're partnered with. Go check out their website, aacr.org, and also be sure to check out playersversuscancer.org. That's the team that we're part of as well, that is a bunch of streamers who help raise money to fund cancer research. So be sure to check out those as well. Links are at the bottom of the description. And we will see you all next time.
Bye.